Thank you for joining me for Veg with Lisa Live. I'm Lisa. This is obviously live. I'm coming to you au naturel because it has been one of those days. And these aren't even veg. But it doesn't matter because today on the episode, the show, the live, I'm going to show you how easy peasy it is to make some homemade gazpacho. And we are going to use some fresh from the market maters. Shall we dive in? We're not going to worry that these are fruits, right? It doesn't matter. Oh my gosh, this is so easy peasy. And you can see that I've got wet hair. But I forgot to close my cupboard too. I don't like airing my dirty cupboards. But before I get started, Ellie, where have you been? I've missed you. Before I get started, type in the comments. Hi, Rob. Say hi. Let me know that you're here, that you can see. Dawn is in the house, that you can see me and you can hear me. I'm going to get to using one of my favorite kitchen implements. You don't have to have one of these, but you will need some sort of chopper or some sort of grinder because we are going to chop a whole bunch of plants up, throw them in a blender, and then we're going to slurp them down as gazpacho. Ellie, where have you been? I've missed you. Why do we like gazpacho, friends? Well, I can tell you why I like it. The first and foremost reason is always because it is absolutely delicious. The second reason today is because it is so easy peasy when you're on the run. I just got out of the shower, but that doesn't mean I can't still whip up a blender batch of gazpacho. And the third reason is because it's absolutely wonderful for your health. Great this time of the year. Lots of natural fluids, water for hydration, vitamin C, all the good stuff. Plants, we're not even going to go into it because there's too many pros to list. Shall we get to cooking? By the way, there's no cooking required in this, but you will need either a blender, a Vitamix, a food processor, or you can go old school like my mom used to do, and she just chopped all of her vegetables into little bits. You can do that too. Gazpacho, what do we start with for our gazpacho? Garlic. Ellie, where's your sister? I'm not going to do too much garlic because she's not here. None of this gets cooked, so be mindful of your garlic. Peppers. Now, traditional gazpacho recipes will call for green peppers. You can use green bell peppers if you want. I'm not really a fan of raw green bell peppers. I like to use whatever color of tomatoes, whatever color of peppers I have that I'm using my tomato. You know what I'm saying? That made absolutely zero sense. Tomatoes, peppers, same color. Red tomatoes, red peppers. Yellow tomatoes, yellow peppers. Why not? If you can find them. If not, green are fine. Just wouldn't use a whole bunch of jalapenos. So far, all I've got in there is garlic and some sweet bell peppers. Cucumbers, dump them in. We might as well call this chop, dump, and blend because that's all we have to do. And then perhaps, you know what? Where's the top of my machine? Here we go. I told you it was one of those days. So before we throw everything in, let's give it a little, because I don't like to puree this all into just mush. Otherwise, we might as well just buy a jar of V8, right? So give it a little pulse. Then I'm going to add a few of my tomatoes. Oh, do I like a particular type of tomato, Dawn asks. That is such a great question, Dawn. Thank you for asking. I like heirloom tomatoes whenever possible. I already chopped these up, but you can see these are, I don't know what variety they are. They're the ones that are a little bit green and a little bit red. Yeah, there are so many. I think heirlooms are great. Whatever is fresh and local, as long as if they're red tomatoes, they should be really red, not like that insipid paint color, you know, man, nobody likes that. But I really love making gazpacho with yellow tomatoes. Maybe I'll do that next week. Any kind of fresh, local, seasonal tomatoes. Okay, I'm gonna save, let's put a few more in. And then I'm gonna save the rest so that I can chop it and not have it be V8 juice. Okay. Things are a little crazy around here, but that's the cool thing about this recipe. You can do it even when you've got your mind on 10,000 other things, but you are my priority right now. So thank you for being here. Hi, Kent. Okay, so I've got tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers, garlic. That's it so far. Nothing but a bunch of beautiful whole foods. I am going to add some extra virgin olive oil. Yeah, so traditional gazpacho would have bread. Mine does not, so it's naturally gluten-free and low carb if you're counting your carbs. I hope you're not. I hope you're just keeping track of what kind of carbs you're eating because that matters. Also, traditional gazpacho might have sherry. I use vinegar, so I'm going to add some of that. I use 2 kinds of vinegar in mine, and this is just basic gazpacho. You can make fancy gazpacho with watermelon and beets and all kinds of cool stuff, but we're just doing the basic stuff because sometimes back to basics is really, really good. Ellie asked, tomato or tomato? I think that depends on how fancy you want to be, Ellie, so you get to choose if you're making some gazpacho with your tomatoes, like Americans, or if you're making fancy gazpacho with tomatoes. Up to you. Okay, so garlic, sweet bell pepper, you can use green, I like red, cucumbers, tomatoes, heirloom if possible, fresh, seasonal, local, juicy, ripe, red, really yummy, yummy. Olive oil, extra virgin. Vinegar, I use 2 kinds. I use plain old white vinegar, and then I use a little bit of balsamic vinegar for just a little bit of extra. Okay, sea salt, we need that. Yeah, remember, we don't want to use too much sodium, but you get your excess sodium from processed and convenience foods, not your home cooking or not your salt shaker, unless you're like dousing it. Okay, what else did I forget? I think that's it. Then I'm going to toss in one last little chunk of tomato here. And I'm going to pulse it. Because again, we don't want to pulverize it. We want it to just be nice and tasty. Okay, hold on. I'm going to do something very dangerous. I'm going to set this aside because I prepared a swap. Ellie, do you know what a swap is? It is a fancy cooking show I learned about a swap when I was on the Food Network. Just kidding. It is when you prepare it ahead of time, and I didn't know you guys are going to be tuning in. Okay, here's my swap that I made ahead of time. Isn't it beautiful? And like most things, if you make this ahead and let it sit and let it blend, it'll be even tastier. I like to add some little green things because I always do some sprouts, some chopped basil, and then because I can never help myself, you could put a little pinch of crushed red pepper in your blender, but I like a little drizzle of the Spice Switch chili oil or chili crisp. Check out the Spice Switch. I love her stuff, shop Spice Switch. One reason I like her products, besides the fact that they're absolutely delicious and they're spicy, is because she uses really healthy oil and there's no sugar in it. Okay, let's give this gazpacho a taste. Let me tell you all, you could drink that with a straw. In fact, I'm gonna drink it right now. Garlic, sweet bell peppers, cucumbers, tomatoes, olive oil, a couple different kinds of vinegar, a little bit of sea salt, maybe some spicy stuff thrown in, bam. It's gazpacho season all summer long. Thank you for joining me for Veg with Lisa Live. Now, don't mind me while I slurp my gazpacho. You could simply add some watermelon. Dawn asked a great question for watermelon gazpacho. Do you need to add anything else? I sometimes add a little bit of ginger or some cilantro, but why not? Toss it in. Give it a try. Let me know how it goes. Peace out, gazpacho eaters.